Kennedy, or Paul Kennedy, he from Russia. But he would always meet up there with Charles Stevens. He died yesterday.
People passed away. I had an aunt that passed away last Saturday. I was up just reporting.
Louisiana trouble statistics. I took that later on.
That sound right?
The Open Line Radio Show is supported in part by Finders Keepers, the place with your residential hardware needs, small engines, outdoor power equipment, bathroom accessories, electronics, lighting, plumbing, and everything in between. Located in the Southern Development Office Building, at 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette. Telephone 337-780-8149. That's Finders Keepers.
You are now tuned into my man, Brother Jay, and our conscious sister, bringing the people the knowledge on the Open Line Radio Show on 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana. 88.3 FM.
Hi fans, this is your favorite actor. When I am in the Lafayette area, I listen to the Open Line Radio Show with Sister Kadisha and Brother Jay. Heard exclusively on KIEE 88.3, your superstation for South Louisiana.
Line Radio Show, heard exclusively on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
KIEE, the Louisiana Superstation, presents the community's #1 radio talk show, The Open Line, if you have an open mind.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Open Line. I'm Brother Jay. I'll be here with my co-host, Sister Khadijah. Stay tuned and relax for the open line on KIEE 88.3, your superstation. Welcome to the open line on KIEE 88.3, your superstation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of KIEE 88.3 staff or management. Thanks for listening.
We are interactive and live. Call us at area code 337-534-0036. That's 337-534-0036. On the Open Line Radio Show on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
Hotep Habarigani, assalamu alaikum. You're here with another powerful edition of the Open Line, which our sister Janelle Shagwar started on KJCB for umpteen years, and we want to like stay somewhat in her partial footstep. We have our spectacular attorney at law, Attorney Dua. We have Brother Jay, who is the behind the scene. I'm not exactly sure. Brother Jay, what is it that you do? You're behind the scene engineer. Okay, let's give him an engineering position. All right. And, Brother Jay, behind the scene. Okay, so we're gonna, Brother Jay, what is it that you wanted to say? Well, let's just go ahead with it. Ladies first, ladies first, ladies first. You know, it's been Women Month. I mean, supposed to be, even though it's our month, 12 months out of a year, so many years. What was it that you done for Women's Day, or what is it that you're doing, Attorney Dua?
Good morning. First of all, let me throw out my disclaimer. Any information obtained here today is strictly informational. No attorney-client relationship or privilege has formed. I don't know. I'm really not sure. What you plan on doing?
Well, what I was trying to anticipate is that it's something that you do on behalf of yourself or behalf of your community. And I was thinking about doing something on behalf of myself. I'm trying to borrow a black credit card, because the black credit card means that there's no limit.
No limit.
I mean, you could go up to $20,000, but I haven't been successful.
I heard Brother Jay has one.
Oh, he must have a blue credit card, and they don't make those.
Yes, good morning, Attorney Dua. We so glad to have you back in the house after your hyenas in crawfish heaven. And thank God, Sister Khadijah is here today. Sister Khadijah, I'm in the studio. We're going to chop it up today on the open line. Much thanks to the staff and management of Southern Development, Charlie, and Mr. John Freeman for helping incubating these wonderful shows. Shout out to Brother Shaheed with Finders Keepers.
Oh, yes, Finders Keepers, some of the best items around.
Mm-hmm. So many things are going on, Attorney Dua, since you've been here. Louisiana had a report about gun violence and stuff. And I want to, later on in the show, we're going to touch on a young man who they were searching for from New Iberia. They found him deceased in St. Martin Parish. I know the family, and hopefully Pastor Hogan from New Iberia being discussing these things that we have to deal with in our community. There's so much violence in the community. And being in the legal profession, Attorney Dwyer, the issue with gun violence is front and center. We know the Biden administration just signed a gun violence bill on yesterday. He was down there in California. We have a call already?
Caller, you're on. Okay. You have a question or comment?
I have a comment this morning. I want to say to all the beautiful women out there, this is our month. They celebrate us this month, which we should be celebrating every day, because without us, it wouldn't be none of them.
Can you say that again?
Can you say that again? With that being said, good morning to my sister Khadijah. I want to give you a shout out for being one of the most remarkable women in Lafayette. God bless you, and you have a wonderful Women's Month.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to find out who you are and everything like that. Thank you so very much, Carla. And so are you. And we standing the test of times. We got to go through things that men could never possibly dream about going through. Put me up, Jay.
I'm sorry.
No, you did that.
Happy Women's Month.
You did that on purpose. They didn't say 24/7.
Yeah, Happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to all of the women that continuously standing the test of time, we appreciate you all. We appreciate you all. Thank you, my sister.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. And triggers. What are some triggers that can really cause people to get out of their character? Some triggers are harsh and everything, but we're gonna try to keep it smooth sailing, giving you the information that you need and you want to hear. We also wanted to mention that out in Iberia Parish, they finally covered that big old mural, that big old picture that they had in the courthouse in New Iberia. They finally covered it. And when I say they finally covered it, if you go down to the main courtroom in Iberia Parish, the 16 JDC, there was this big old painting, and the painting was you had a white man that kind of looked at like a devil. He had a something in his arm, like a stake, like he's hitting down, and all at the bottom of it was people of color, and he had his one of his foot on their head and everything like that. I was in the courthouse yesterday, and I seen how the picture got covered. It's covered with a large curtain and everything, but we've been talking about that for years. We've been talking about that. So I wonder what really caused them to finally put a curtain over the painting. I would have just throw paint all over it just to, I wouldn't even gone through the expense, but because it was somebody that donated something to them, that they couldn't really scratch it up or whatever it was. It was already messed up anyway. But I wanted to say that was some good news, and that's good to hear. Attorney Dwyer?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You seen it?
Oh yeah, because I've been to that courthouse several times. And I always wondered what that painting was about. Every time I was in the court, I'd look at it and try to figure it out. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Well, finally, some of those that have a little bit of clout decided that other people been talking about it just a little bit too bad, and so it's time that we do something about it, which was really, really good.
Yeah, that was there a long time coming. There was talk about that back in the 90s, late 90s, and you and I have been talking, especially yourself, and I never noticed it until I started going, dealing with the 16 JDC. And those symbols of intimidation in those courtrooms, they don't have no place in being in the courtroom because people already going there. When you experience a court, you've been in the court in trauma and worrying about how your outcome going to be. And you know, don't make me rattle off the statistics I sent you about Louisiana when it comes to criminal justice. It's so negative. So hopefully that might be a start that we have progressive-minded people that runs the court system.
Okay, Attorney Dwa?
Absolutely. So Brother Jay passed me some information about the gun laws in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So this is very alarming. Louisiana apparently has the second highest gun death rate in the U.S., but lawmakers are reluctant to regulate them. I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all because Louisiana is definitely the sportsman's paradise. So we're all about guns and the Second Amendment down here.
Oh yeah, You definitely know that. Now, someone had told me that they were going to the store and they were going to the store. They was at the store in New Iberia, and some I guess some people came up to them and gave them a subpoena for becoming a juror. And what the lady that called me, and she said, "How you?" Yes, she said, "How can you just give somebody a subpoena to be a grand jury? I mean, to be on the jury, to report for jury duty." And to me, Brother Jay, a lady had called me and told me that they were handing out subpoenas to people in the store, at the different stores in Iberia Parish, to become jurors and everything like that. And she said, "Well, how could you just hand someone a subpoena to become a juror and you don't even know who that person is?" And a lot of people didn't accept it. But I don't know, for some apparent reason, I would love to become a juror and everything. I would take that subpoena so quick and sign my name. But yeah, a few people mentioned that to me.
Well, you know, we have an attorney right here, and I have one of the things we need to ask: what's the criteria for how the system works to pick a jury or to invite somebody? I know it's supposed to go by the voting rules, but
correct.
Is there a vetting process before they send out the request for a person to be a juror?
So it's exactly like you said. It's people that are on. That are registered to vote. Mm-hmm. That's where that comes from. Can't have a criminal record, any of that. And of course, that's strange to me that you said that they're serving that in the store, because it's not the normal process. The normal process is they come to your house and serve it.
Yes.
The only reason I can think that they would be serving somewhere other than somebody's house is maybe they couldn't find you and they have a private process server. I don't know, but that sounds weird because it sounds like they were just passing them out to anybody.
They was passing them out to anybody. However, a lot of people declined for one reason or another. And I'm like saying, if they would have passed me one, I'd have signed on it so quick, because it's no way that out of 55 years of voting that I still have never been called to be a juror. You know, so... But I don't know, maybe somebody from New Iberia this happened to or whatever, but I'm for it, because like I would want to get on, but I see the point with what you're saying, that with other people, you know, you have to go through this system.
Right, it's supposed to be a random allotment.
Okay, a random allotment.
Out of the pool of registered voters.
Correct.
Okay. And I want to remind people we live on AOC Community Media, Cox 15 and LUS Channel 3. Check us out. We also on Twitter today. We also on Facebook, Open Line page. Go to the Open Line page, Facebook, and you'll see us live and in color. And we're about to do another wide shot. And I want to say, Sister Khadijah, no pulling up the hair today.
Okay. Yes, you know. Some people, they just can't get out of being a nemesis, you know. And there's been other reports that came out that said hair relaxer is linked to ovarian cancer. Mm-hmm. You know, isn't that something? I mean, something that, I mean, well, when I say something that we've done, because I was a part of that industry.
Right.
Carly, you have a question or a comment? It was forced on me, but I was a part
Hello?
of it. Yes, you're on.
Hello?
Yes.
I have a comment for the attorney.
Go ahead.
I wanted to charge racial gesture.
You want to know what you're breaking? You're breaking.
Your phone is breaking up. Can you repeat it?
Yes. Your phone
Can
is...
you hear me?
Okay, yes, but your phone breaking. Go ahead.
Yes, the police officer came by me Saturday and what is racial gesture?
Justice.
No, he's like you say, racial gesture?
Justice.
No, yeah, like a hand movement, pick up one hand, do something, but it's racial. What is that? Because I went to the sheriff department in Liberia and they told me they were surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
What officer, what jurisdiction came? City police or sheriff?
The parish.
Parish of Iberia or Lafayette?
Yes, the parish of Iberia.
Okay.
I'm not sure. They were saying that you were making a racial gesture.
Yes.
What? So
yes, I was making a racial gesture, and I was asking, what is that?
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So what was it that you did?
Allegedly.
Right, they said that's what I did. That's what they said I done to two white guys. Called the police and said I was making a racial gesture to them.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Almost like when somebody used the N-word, racial slur or something like that.
No.
Nothing was said to them. Nothing was said to them.
Right.
They looked in my yard. They passed on the motorbike, look in my yard, and they called the police. And they said that, so the patrol captain's supposed to call me in a little while to explain what the charges was. He's supposed to talk to the two officers.
Yes.
And I went talk to the captain, and what I was charged with, they came in my yard, and two guys just walked away when I called the police officer and said I was making a racial gesture at them.
So what were you charged?
He said in all his years he never heard of nothing like that.
Yeah, you were charged with racial gesture, right?
Right.
Okay, the movement of your body.
Well,
we never heard of that. Or maybe, did you stick the bird at him?
No, he asked me did I do that. I said no. I said me and my friend was talking in my yard, and they passed, and they seen us. Me and him was talking, and next thing you know, police followed them to the other guy's house. And matter of fact, it was a black police officer who wrote the report.
Yeah, well, that's a ridiculous report, and whether they're black or white, that is ridiculous. And I think I'm glad you're speaking in public media, because now the Louisiana ACLU is filing lawsuits for intimidation, harassment, even all types of wrongdoing by local law enforcement, even people putting false charges or even making up charges. So the Louisiana ACLU will put you in contact with their telephone number, because they are documenting these cases.
Right, we got to get your information.
But I've never heard of such a crime. I'm so confused now.
Right.
Once you can see the charges on paper, you
right. And you keep on. I'm going to pick up the phone so that we're not on the air with this. But we appreciate you calling in. Trust me, the A-team gonna find out what's what, because we also need to know what the officer's going to tell you when he call you to let you know what this is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You want to ask him something?
I mean, the whole thing is just weird, because it's just not enough investigation became and gave you, I guess, a citation for that, just because somebody said. And I'm
no, man, he never gave me no
citation.
I just wanted to know why he was coming in my yard, because two officers came in my yard, and I asked him, I said, well, what's going on, officer? He said, I'm trying to find out from you. I said, I didn't call you. I said, you coming in my yard questioning me. I said, well, what's the problem? I'm trying to find the problem out from me. I said, I don't have no problem.
Well, yes, indeed.
I would advise you to get with an attorney ASAP.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And one of the things I've heard of criminal menacing, right? Menacing charge.
Okay, what's
your
name?
No such thing. I've never
let's
heard of that.
So you're right. Talk to an attorney. But I know the ACLU, if it's something that deem as ridiculous or not a non-legal charge, I would file a complaint with the ACLU of the arresting people or the charging agency and file a complaint against them. Because the only way in the state of Louisiana, and I'm so proud of what they're doing compared to what, other situations, that they are actually making an impact by filing these lawsuits against these local law enforcement jurisdictions. So, well, in Louisiana, almost anything goes. It's proof positive. The documents are out there. I think one of the things that Brother Wallace might call in and ask you about small claim court, how difficult, how would it be easy to bring somebody to small claims court? I think that's his question. He might call in if he's listening.
Okay. So as far as small claims court is definitely not difficult. Small claims court is one of our courts of what's called limited jurisdiction, because they only go up to a certain amount. Some courts go up to 25,000, 30,000, stuff like that. Right. And the rest of the cases that are over that would have to be brought in district court. So small claims court, a lot of people handle the cases themselves because the amounts are so limited. I mean, you can have an attorney. To me, it's always great to have an attorney, but the expense to have an attorney for such a small amount may not be worth it. So small claims court, you will go to city court and they will give you the information on a petition that can be filled out, and then you can just go from there. You write your information, their information, what happened, and they will serve the person. They'll give you a court date. Same thing like district court, but it's just on a smaller level.
Yes. Well, we had a few calls that was on. I was trying to get the information. But yes, that is a good one. We definitely need to find that out.
Yeah.
And then
that troubles me. Stuff like that needs to stop.
Well, we in Louisiana. It's our birth state. It's our state. Carly, you have a question or comment? You're on.
Yes. Good morning, Sister Khadijah.
Go ahead, Brother
Dwight. And good morning, Brother Jay.
Good morning.
Morning.
Brother Jay asked a question that I wanted to ask: how difficult it is to get in small claim court, to bring a complaint against someone, or to get a judgment against someone that wrongly did you something,
So small claims court it's not going to be that difficult to get in. Like I was saying, I'm not sure if you were listening just a few minutes ago. So small claims court is what's called a court of limited jurisdiction because of the amount is smaller than what you would bring in district court. So small claims court, a lot of people are what's called pro se, or that means that they represent themselves because the amounts are so small. A lot of times in small claims court, it's really not even about the money. It's more so about the principle. And a lot of times the money is not that much. I mean, for some people, for others, of course, it's a lot. So if you feel like you need an attorney, I would say get an attorney. But for small claims court, the amounts are so small that you probably could just handle it yourself. And small claims court would be here in city court.
Right there in city court.
Where do you start off at? Where do you get the paperwork to start off to go to small claim court?
So it's here in city court. You would go in the courthouse. Once you go through the metal detector, it's going to be to the right. You're going to go to the clerk's office, and that's civil. So it's going to be downstairs on the first floor. So you can just sign in, and then one of the clerks will call you, and you can tell them what you're trying to do, and they can give you the information to get you started.
Okay. because I ain't never went to small claim court before, and that's why I'm trying to find out what it takes to get there.
Not much at all. And another thing too, in district court, depending on what you file, and some of the filing fees are really high. So some stuff could be like $500. In small claims court, it's not going to be as high. So maybe like $100, maybe a couple $100. It's not going to be as much as district court.
It don't go by the amount that you're actually seeking if you're having a judgment, want to seek a judgment against someone.
No, it's like they have a list of
sliding.
Right. So if you filing this type of petition, this is going to be the amount. If you filing this is the amount. If you're doing an expungement, this is the amount.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate the answer.
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk later. Y'all have a blessed day.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Right. And you
Thank
say
you, Brother
that.
Wiley.
Yeah, thank you, Brother. And you say that you go right there to
it's city court.
Well, you're gonna have to check to make sure city court is still there, because didn't the mayor Josh Guillory either made some type of deal where they're gonna be moving city court
and the marshal's office.
And the marshal office, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he
without telling them about it.
Yeah, without telling them about it. Yeah.
Oh wow. So I don't know when it's taking effect, but it's still in
money changes
location
everything
right now.
Yes. Yeah, that's the location right now.
For the moment, it's in that location.
Yeah, they want to build a apartment complex.
Yeah, a high-rise apartment complex.
They work in Lafayette around, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And there was a judge out of St. Martinville, Louisiana, the Honorable Judge Carl Williams, from St. Martinville, and he was the epitome of what a judge was actually should be about and everything like that. And because he gave the people a chance, just like the reason why some of the black lawyers took the state of Louisiana to court, because they wouldn't allow black lawyers to become judges. And I just wanted to send a shout out if anybody, the Honorable Judge Carl Williams, who wound up dying, I can't go into some other this stuff, but Judge Carl Williams from St. Martinville, he was a superb judge, and that's what judges need to try to do to be and everything. And because it seems like those that have made that have became judges, they wasn't even there to wanted to sign a petition when it was being taken to the courts for black lawyers to become judges. So I just wanted to, Judge Carl Williams just came up on my mind.
Well, he sounds wonderful. I definitely didn't know him, but I love a good judge that follows the law, and and it's some discrepancies against his death, because he driving on a road where he lived at for like the past 25 years and lose control. Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, for Attorney Dwyer, I heard you say earlier that this injustice that the cop be making up charges have to stop. The only way this stop is that we, the people, especially the black people, have to get on the black caucuses, the politicians, and everybody that we vote to make changes. We got to hold these people accountable. We cannot be these people friends and not go and make them do what they say they were going to do for the people to change. We send some chickens to a dog fight, and a lot of our black judges, black lawyers are selling us out just like the white people are doing. And we got to understand, a lot of these laws they are creating is now because a lot of white people are starting to be incriminated by the law, so they're trying to change the law. So anything they can make upon black people who don't know their rights as a citizens, they're going to do it. And that caller that called in and say these cops made up some charges of racial gestures, this is called reverse racism. And yes, we don't get the black officers who trying to fit in with the white officers to discriminate against their own people, because I know in my neighborhood, a lot of these black officers, they'll turn their head on you when they're passing, because they're being trained how to disrespect the black people in the poor section of town. Even the black people who have money and got credentials, they disrespect them. But it's up to the people, the black people, to get on their council members, to get on their black judges, and to get on every black lawyer who try to charge them the price of a white lawyer for simple cases. This doesn't make sense, and we got to get on all these people until we get the respect that we deserve. And I don't know if y'all heard about Mississippi trying to change the laws because now the black people are in more of the districts. They don't want the black people to be judging the white people, so now they're trying to create new laws to protect the white people from going to the black judges and black lawyers section. This is happening all over now. It goes to show you that the laws were really created to stop the progress of black people, to keep us in bondage, to keep us not thinking that we are citizens. So that's all I have to tell y'all. And keep talking about these things because it's not going to change if we don't say nothing and be quiet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, when Mr. Kevin mentioned those expensive lawyers, this one lady had called me and told me about Bustani. I mean, about this guy, about this lawyer and stuff like that. And when you have that type of lawyer, it was a crime that was done against her daughters. And when you have that type of lawyers, how could you afford a lawyer like that when in actuality, their daughter was guilty of the crime in which she was convicted of? So that in itself is something serious. Brother G?
Yes. Carla brought up the point about Jackson, Mississippi, and Mac actually is so devastating, and this is a sign of things to come because you've got Republicans who want to, or conservatives want to change things in majority-led black cities. In Jackson, Mississippi, because they're dissatisfied with the leadership, and I would say the Republican legislative body, they want to make a separate law for white folks in Jackson, Mississippi, and have a separate court jurisdiction with and their own police force. This is so crazy that the people of the Ron DeSantis type and the people out there in Mississippi are trying to do, and all of these things are taking shape in this election cycle. So you're going to see a lot of those shenanigans come forward, especially going back to Florida. Actually, they signed into bill some more laws concerning doing away with Black history studies in the state of Florida on yesterday, and this is coming to a state like Louisiana and other areas.
Yes. Carla, you have a question or comment? You are on.
Yes, I have a comment. So I think we all agree that a racial gesture is an illegal charge. So, we can agree on that. The point I want to bring up is that the entire parish council voted to fund that new building for the sheriff's office at the court. That over $1.5 million building was voted unanimously by the Iberia Parish Council. All of those seats are coming up in the next election. So we need to really evaluate who we run for those seats and what people we put on that parish council. We have the opportunity to replace the entire council. There are enough voters to make a difference and to replace these people because they don't represent the people. That's my comment.
All right.
Yeah,
all
thank
right.
you.
Thank
you for listening in.
Yeah, well. Now I wanted to say that yes, and you see you have senior high in New Iberia. They spent $2 million for an artificial turf. Now there's another school that's right there on Hopkins that they're getting ready to want to move that school.
Anderson? Hopkins Street Elementary and Anderson was combined, I think.
Right.
And it's a nice new school. They just They just refurbished a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and so now they want to get rid of it. I mean, and they could do that because it's taxpayers' money. It's not coming. It's not coming out of their
Yeah,
pocket.
we're gonna confirm if that's the
Oh, yeah, I wanted to find because just like that school right there off on Saint Antoine, they claim, we need to get rid of that school. It's a hazard for the kids and everything, being right next to the railroad track. And then the sheriff come right back and purchase that school for $1, and this is where their big time monies is located. I mean, if you want to prosper illegally, you got to be in the system. You got to be in the government. Carl, you have a question or comment?
Yes, I got a comment. I want to thank the good white person for reminding that what happens next year for the end of this year for election, which is Larry Richard running for parish president, who was the major contributor of paying $1.5 million for a building that's not worth $500,000. But yet still, we must understand what's going on. Jay, you mentioned about the election coming up about the Republicans and the Democrats out of Mississippi. It's not about a party anymore. It's about white versus black, poor versus rich. And we got to stop using this political title because a lot of the Democrats in Mississippi voted for that. A lot of the Democrats in Florida voted for these rules and regulations. So it's not about politics. It's about black and white. And we got to stop with this Democratic and this Republican party and stop calling ourselves the left and them the right. It's really the white wing always want to keep in control. And until we understand what politics mean and what our rights mean, because it's being violated, our 14th Amendment, due process of the laws. If we don't know these things, we're going to be spending a lot more money. We're going to be getting back into re-enslavement by the system that we think helping the people. It's for the corporation. Politics does not help the people. It helps the corporation get control over the people.
9, 8. Thank you.
The black people would go to the school board meetings right down on Hopkins Street because, number one, you're moving it two miles down the street. And it'll cost $15 million to build a new school plus some change. Meanwhile, you can take half of that money and invest in the community to get them out of poverty, and you will see the crime drop down dramatically. But we got to talk about those things.
Yeah. And we got to also be at those meetings because they're in the clear when they say, well, we had an open meeting, it was in the newspaper, and this is what we came up with, this is what happened. You got to participate in those meetings. You've got to participate in those meetings.
And I want to thank that caller for his one opinion, but when you're making reference to who's doing what, you have to identify what party is doing what. It would be very asinine of me not to mention who's doing what to who. I don't understand when callers try to tell you what to talk about, but they want to, like they're hosting the show. Really?
Well, I tell you one thing. I know this much is that taxpayers' money is always being misused, abused, all in the wrong area. It's no way that we should be having to build another school off on Hopkins Street or just like when they moved that other school off on St. Antoine, because it was disturbance to the children, but yet the sheriff come right back and purchase it for $1. We got to be in these rooms. It's like there was a councilman that didn't know that they were going to be moving this facility to his district. It's like it's always the meeting before the meeting. So then now you know. And even though he's against it, the majority rule. How can you win when the majority always rule? Carly, you have a quick question or a comment?
Yeah, quick question. Leroy, you got to stop getting in your feeling because it's not about you when I say Democratic or Republican. I say we got to stop following what people tell us. It's about people.
Well, don't address the callers. Address the callers. Don't address me. You're trying to tell me how to do a talk show, but you have a talk show on Thursday. Do your talk show on Thursday.
Okay.
He's not on air anyway. He's not on air.
Okay.
He's continually want to tell me how to do the show. Do your show on Thursday. We'd be all right with that, brother.
Okay, so it's the It's the open line. We were discussing a gesture that we just found out that and we didn't find out that there is such a crime as a gesture crime. You know, I could be scratching my head and stuff like that, and they might say,
we see that.
You did a gesture. What's the bad gesture? And stuff. Carly, you have a question or a comment?
I got a quick comment. I'm going to push back on you, Sister Khadijah, on insisting that we have to attend all these meetings. I appreciate that, and I do try and attend as many meetings as I can. But that's why we elect competent people to represent us. We should elect competent people to represent us so that we don't have to attend every single meeting. Otherwise, they're going to screw us.
Yes.
So that's what they do. We end up electing the wrong people, and so we don't attend every meeting, and they just take every penny that we have, and they take every right that we have, and they end up arresting us for racial gestures. So the solution really is to band together and to elect people that actually represent the people and don't represent the businesses and the wealthy of the parish. That's the solution to not having to attend every single meeting and not get screwed. That's my comment. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yeah, that is the truth. Elect competent people. Where when they get in the seat, then not only that, but then so many times, like in one particular, in several elections, you have 2 and 3 different people running for the same position. Why not let the better candidate run for that position? Why not let the better candidate run for that position?
Well,
you all know who the better candidate is.
That has to be hashed out by the people who are supporting these candidates. You know, they would have to come to an agreement that it would be better for one not to run against somebody. But everybody got their own individual thoughts. Just like we have callers who have their own individual thoughts, they want to tell the candidates what to do or the host what to do.
Well, I know for a fact, and I actually can't say what I actually can't say.
Well, no,
it.
you can't.
Okay, you can't. But I mean,
we got a lawyer here.
If you see an attorney that's on the council that's doing a really good job. It's no need for you to come out and say, well, I'm going to run against that's attorney. It's the ones that's not doing a good job that you need to focus in on.
Well, that has to be agreement amongst the people who are going to support, you know.
Yeah, and the problem is you have different people that have different interests.
Yeah, everybody wants to rule the world. We know that syndrome. It has a lot in Louisiana.
That sounds logical in theory.
Yes.
But in the real world.
Yeah. People just go off the rails.
Yeah,
I want to be the boss today. Give me that mic.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I forgot to say, I wanted to mention happy birthday to Tanya Faye Hill. Happy birthday to Tanya Faye Hill. We all call her Nitra or Tanitra and stuff like that, but happy birthday, and you're looking as beautiful as you ever have. And I know that first husband of yours, I know.
Oh, there she
I know. He regrets.
Husband?
Yes, indeed. So happy birthday, Tanya Faye Hill.
We got a lawyer.
You are looking good. It's a compliment.
I want you to check over that because you know they got people who go irate callers could call in and say, "What you say about the first husband? That's me."
Well, yeah, the first husband know who he is, and we done told him about himself.
Do not do that.
That's all. That's all good in family and everything. So we have to always, like when it comes down to child support. We continuously let people know that, you know, that even though you say that it's your baby and you believe it's your baby, it doesn't matter. You thinking you're in a monogamous relationship, Attorney Dwyer, what is it that they should do?
Consult Dana, DNA test.
I like
always.
As soon as the baby is born.
Well, actually, I learned something a couple of weeks ago. They have these new DNA tests that you can do while the woman is still pregnant, but they're not invasive. So that might be a suggestion.
That must be pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about the cost, but it sounds good.
It sounds good
because you won't, be interfering with any floods or anything like that while the woman is pregnant. So,
I wonder how that test is done. Because because the baby's inside, and they're gonna go and reach the baby. That's a
No, so they don't. It's not invasive. So they don't stick anything inside. I think it's from maybe like the mother's. I don't know if it's urine or it's something from her fluids that they get this reading from.
Okay, get the reading from. Okay,
but that's very new.
Okay, very new.
So in other words, you don't have to wait until the baby's done. You can do that, but they have new stuff out now where you don't have to do that.
And how often, Sister Khadijah, I know you'd asked the question, how often do they update the laws on child support to the people who are actually in the district attorney office and the attorneys who have to defend the clients?
I don't really see that really updated too much. The most recent updates,
educate, well, we got a new directive coming down from.
I mean, not much as far as the actual child support laws and the guidelines and all of that. I haven't seen that updated in a while. What has been updated is stuff that stems from it, like fathers being in arrears and being in prison. So now they have it where you can file to suspend it while they're in prison because they can't pay it anyway.
Right.
So they have those different laws like that. But as far as the guidelines itself, not in a long time.
Okay.
Carly, you have a question or comment? You're on.
I have a comment.
You're on. Morning.
First of all, I want to say good morning to all of y'all.
Good morning.
Morning.
And second of all, I want to say to you, Khadijah, my beautiful producer, you're just a person that wake up with fire. But they say if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. Well, let me do this myself. Happy birthday to Tanitra Faye Hill. Not Tanya. Tanya's the sister.
Oh, sure.
Now I'm Tanya.
You're right. You're right.
I'm trying to text you and tell you.
Okay, that's the
like, why you keep on saying Tanya? Tanya's a sister.
Right, you're right. My bad.
But happy birthday to my sister, childhood friend, Tanitra Faye Hill Olivia Castillo. He was talking about my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord.
You say something about T-Bass.
I sure did, and I meant every word of it.
I'm trying to keep her out of a liability charge.
Let me get this straight myself. But I want to tell y'all, and also I want to say this right quick before I go. I was hearing y'all saying something about the meetings and stuff. Let me say this. Monday night we went to the meeting with the mayor of Lorville. That man was so rude and ignorant. He wouldn't let nobody talk. He was telling the police officer to throw people out. It was just ridiculous. And let me tell you what disturbed me. I couldn't take my eye off of him when he got off of that, what is it called, a podium, whatever it is. When he got off of that thing where the board was sitting, he got up with his fist clenched, walking away, going to the back, because he was so upset. And I'm like, this is a sign of aggression towards your people. You telling me that you cannot, and nobody's being rude or anything. They're just trying to tell him, what he did, where he was wrong. And, of course, he said he wasn't drunk. And everybody's like, wow. And I'm like, I got the video right here. You can see how drunk you are. But how do you have a meeting when, and the police officers were great. They would just come and tell us, we needed to be quiet and stuff. But it was frustrating the way he was treating people. So how do you go to a meeting and you can't even voice your opinion?
Well, it's not supposed to be like that, but I'm gonna say it this way: Lurville is a small town, and y'all could vote him out. But
I hate to cut you off, but let me say this part. That's exactly what I was saying. We need to vote him out. I looked towards somebody that was on my right and just threw his name in there. But when I said we need to vote him out, it was we don't have enough black people and this and that, and I'm like, well, we don't have enough mind frame to say that we can get him out, and that's the way y'all gonna think. We already know they don't have enough white folks. You don't know how many white folks want him out too. Give them a chance to vote. But it was I just walked away.
Okay.
I'm like, let me walk away because it's gonna turn into an argument. That's why I don't really care for politics.
Yeah.
But that's what was said. And then they said when I turned to my right and saw that person and just threw their name in there. Because they're popular, in the city of Lorville, wherever. It was said that, them white folks not going to put him in there. Well, I said with this small mind mentality, mind frame that y'all have, they're not going to put him in because nobody's thinking about even trying to help him out. So I really wanted to say the part about getting Tanitra's birthday right.
Yeah.
But I had to say that, it was on my mind. I just be trying to listen and not call him because I got things to do.
Yeah.
But people just not going, it's so scary because they so afraid of I'm just gonna sorry to say it, the white man. And there's white people that don't want him there too.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all have a blessed day.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
And Lurville is a small municipalities, and that as long as I can remember, there's always been white.
I got my guess.
White males there. Okay.
Guess is here.
All right.
Second hour.
All right. Okay. So back to Attorney Dwyer. We touched on some very important issues this morning. And everything. We found out about this new racial gesture, which we're gonna be looking into and stuff. I have the gentleman's name and stuff because he said a police officer is supposed to come by him today. I think today or sometime this week, and let him know what is the racial gesture. But I mean, laws are made all the time. One thing about laws is that I usually would say, you know, all laws is made to be broken, but I was talking about like the bad law, the one where we were 3/5 of a person, not thus, not that type of law. Attorney Dwyer?
Absolutely. I agree with you. We covered some good topics today. Let me say this. I'm asking for prayers for my family. I had an aunt that passed away this past Saturday. And I'm going to celebrate her during this Women's History Month and every month, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be who I am. That's the aunt that kept my daughter while I was in college and while I studied for the bar. So I appreciate her.
Okay. You have our humbly sympathy and everything. I would like to call her name out to the ancestors.
Aunt Dorothy Land.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Khadijah, you want to wind it down?
Oh, well, we have to.
Oh, yeah, we got another segment coming up.
Okay. We got another segment. Okay, so it's time for us to get up. Well,
no, you could get. You get.
I love Sister Khadijah.
Well, that's what she's saying.
She's still after me because of the trolls.
You know, the 7 things to know. Okay, about getting a mammogram. Women, y'all have to get mammograms. Mammograms, that's the breast x-rays. That's the best screening tool. We have to find out about breast cancer early when it may be easier to treat. So women, it's our month, even though it's our month for the 11 months of the year and everything. If you see a woman or a good sister, good friend or whatever, you know, maybe treat them out to dinner. Give compliments. It's idea to just give off compliments from strangers. You know, I remember when my hair would be pie-eyed, somebody would come up and say, oh, but your afro looking good. You know, and I know for a fact that it wasn't. But it was
She's
just,
on TV.
It was the gesture.
Afro look good.
It's the gesture. I mean, you see somebody.
Afro looks good, people. Trust me, it looks good.
It's the gesture, you know. Give out that compliment to each other. And, you know, compliment your young sisters, your young women and everything like that. If you see a sister that's underly dressed, well, no. If you see a sister that's underly dressed, just let her know. I have some nice clothes in my closet that I know you would love that could fit you good.
That can cover you up.
That's right. Because, oh, my land. I can't go there. But we want to.
Thank you so much, Attorney.
Yes. Thank you.
So in the meantime, before we have to get up, like Sister Khadijah said, if anyone needs to get in contact with me, my number is 337-534-4020. Once again, 337-534-4020.
Okay. Bring some crawfish next time.
Y'all know I love crawfish.
Hi, my name is Amari. I just wanted to say a few words about gun violence in Louisiana. I am just 9 years old. Last month, I lost my big brother who had just turned 15. He was at a party when someone started a fight. Someone came back and started shooting. My brother was shot. He later died, at the hospital. Our family was devastated. My mom still cries about it. I am telling my short story, so that anyone listening will understand and help spread the message of Stop the gun violence in Louisiana. Please stop.
This is an Open Line Radio, public service announcement. Serving the community with information.
Listen up. You can now listen to select Open Line Radio Show episodes on the Anchor Podcast Network. Just go to anchor.fm/Open Line Radio. That's anchor.fm/Open Line Radio. Listen to select edited shows from these radio broadcasts. The Open Line Radio is always in service to the community.
back to the open line here on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana. I have my own mic turned down. Sister Khadijah will be right back, but we got some special guests from New Iberia. We got a brother who's a listener to the open line show. He's called many times. I recognize his voice. And on the recommendation of Councilman Dee Dee Reed, another good sister, she said, call Mr. Hogan, and he got some things to talk about. And I want to applaud him for the work he's doing in the city of New Iberia. You want to introduce yourself and tell us what you and your organization want to do, and pass the mic around.
Apostle Felton Hogan from the city of New Iberia. Along with me is my evangelist, Evangelist Chantel Charles, also my assistant Pastor Patrick Hogan. Here also, we do plenty of initiatives in the city of New Iberia, and not just in New Iberia, in the whole Southwest Louisiana. Our last initiative was on Saturday. We're searching for a young man by the name of Devontae Jamal Kolar. He's been missing for like 20 days since February 23rd. So the family called me, and I got together, got a search party, and we went to looking. Amen. And that was on Saturday, just passed. We had the drones out. We had ATVs, horses, and foot boots on the ground, looking through the fields. What's the cover between 6 and 8 miles out range in the city of New Iberia?
So the bad news is that they found him, but the bad news that he was deceased, right?
He was deceased in St. Monville on Perry Road. They found him the same day we did the search.
Yeah,
they found him.
Yeah. Is it a suspected foul play? According, I seen a press release. I just people who in the know might know a little bit more.
Okay. When they found him, they told us not to say nothing right now because they know. But we kind of figured it was him because that search party, I think, pulled him out.
Right.
That's what I think. But we so glad that at least the family got closure. We wanted to find him alive, but at least the family can get closure.
Well, my deepest condolences go out to the Kolar family, Miss Breva Kolar.
That's right.
And the family here at the Open Line. We do care about these things that happen in the community. And I know you care because you're trying to head off some of these things that's going on, these outcomes, negative outcomes. And it's better, people got all kind of ideas of what to do and how to do it, but, it's better to do something than nothing.
That's right. Especially with my organization, we have 3 organizations that I oversee. First one is called MASK, and MASK is Mothers Against Senseless Killings. Another one is SWAG, with Pastor Pat is the president. Saved with Amazing Grace, and now the last one is Change. The changes within you, and we do pre-adventure work. Try to prevent the killings that's been happening, to prevent the shooting, the violence that's happening in our cities. We do that to stop it, because I do a lot of visuals. Me and ourselves and Evangelist Donovan Davis, good friend of mine.
Shout out to Donovan.
Yeah, we do a lot of visuals, and I say God spoke to me and said, let's try to do something to stop the visuals. And our first gun buyback, we picked up 25 guns in New Iberia, and I said, wow, that's a blessing. Yeah, 25 lives saved. So we go out to that. Next one was in Jeanerette, and then Abbeville. Next one's gonna be in Franklin. Also with MASK, we have a suicide march coming up in the city of Jeanerette. Suicide prevention. That's going to be on May 20th.
You familiar with Pastor Wilfred Johnson? I want to give him a shout out. Yeah,
Pastor Wilfred Johnson.
Sister Khadijah work with Black Voters Matter.
Yeah, Black Voters Matter, Pastor Wilfred. New Chapter Push.
Yeah,
New Chapter Push. That's right. And that's a great organization. They help. As a matter of fact, I talked to Pastor Wilfred on last night. We keep in contact with each other.
Okay.
I believe he's the president of Chamber of Commerce, Generate now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You got a question, Sister Khadijah?
Yes. It's always the organizations are fantastic and everything. I know even in our little small community, we've had a lot of suicide, and they showed no signs, but yet there is no signs. You know, when it comes down to depression or being bullied and everything like that, there's no sign. And so you say that the suicide
March.
It's a March, and that's May 20th.
May 20th in Generate. May 20th.
Okay, where at in Generate?
We're gonna start marching from the city hall on down to the pavilion. Then we're gonna have, after that we're gonna have a service. We're gonna have a full service, looking for voices of victims to come out. I don't know if you knew was an 11-year-old kid that's committed suicide in the city of Iberia for being bullied, and so we have to do something, some mental thing, something that goes on in the mind. Yeah. So when he completed suicide, we say that we got to do something in that field too. So there's always room to work. So if anybody want to be a part of it, Mayor Cara Bourgeois and Generate, man, he's jumped on board with it. He said, let's go with it. He loved it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. And so mass mothers against senseless killings. That should be a renowned all over the world
acronym,
organization, because that's what's been going on.
That's right.
And so since we're talking to the one that's actually concerned, we're talking to the men and women that really do care. What is some of the support system that you all are seeing that's happening when it come down to senseless killings?
Mainly right now, we do it ourselves. By the grace of God, we do all the footwork, we do all the groundwork, and we just try to push it out there. So if there's any people that want to come on board, they're welcome to come aboard and help us out. We're always looking for help and support, because all killings is senseless to me. So that's one. And Lady Trina, Pastor Pat's wife, she is the president of that organization. She couldn't be here today, but if you want to, you can reach out to her, Trina Sam Hogan, on her Facebook page. You can reach out to her.
Apostle Hogan, let me ask you this, and I want to dive deep into it. We have all these killings in the city of New Iberia, you know, in my hometown. And the thing I worry about, Sister Khadijah, is finding closure with identifying those people who are actually perpetrating these crimes. And I don't know if the local law enforcement jurisdiction is forthcoming in giving us the accurate account on who was arrested or who was found to be, because a lot of murders went unsolved. So you got potential people who've killed before, will killed again.
Right.
So I wonder why law enforcement is not putting out, I do my research. They're not putting out the numbers of the people killed. People need to know who's getting killed and the disposition of the case, the outcome of, whether or not they found the killers, and I don't know if you know anything about that.
Well,
if they're working with you guys to tell you guys.
What I do, our mayor, Freddie, he's very good. He started a new campaign, how you go, Pastor?
Yeah, you could pass the mic to him if we need.
No more silence, stop the gun violence. And we are working together with law enforcement. And there's law enforcement, they are doing much as that they can be done. Because when I talk to Chief Todd, community has to work with the law enforcement, because they're not just going to talk to law enforcement. Community is not going to talk to law enforcement, but they'll talk to us. So that's why I go on the ground a lot. I be on the ground, and I ask questions, and try to figure out what happened, and when they talk to me, I can transfer it over and get some of these crimes solved.
Yeah, like I said, it's an issue.
Yeah, it's an issue.
Having a face on the person who committed a murder, you know, and it don't have nothing to do with snitching, because if somebody kills your mother, it's hard for somebody to say, well, no, don't tell. Hell no, you tell them kill your mother or your baby or your child, you know?
Right.
And people have that attitude. And it's so hard to get through that attitude. They want to take care of business themselves, meaning they want to roll on the same person who done the injustice to them, and that is the problem.
That's right. Retaliate. They want to retaliate. But but I learned this. It was just let nature take its course. Let the laws of the land fulfill, because you just gonna hurt somebody else, and you be put in prison with the same person that did the wrong to you. So I believe that really the law, the cops do what they have to do, and everything be better for that.
Carly, yes, you have a question or comment. You're on. You're on.
I had a question about who was the preacher for yesterday's show, and where can I get a copy of his sermon?
Okay.
Well, you probably call back between 7 and 9 tomorrow. That's Cowboy Preacher. He does the playlist for that morning segment, the Gospel Hour here at 88.3.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so it is troubling, and again, your work is you're trying to bring awareness to people in the community. So what can the public do to give you help on what you're trying to do? What you would have them do?
Have them show up, show their face, show that you care, that you're concerned about, especially our children today. And that's what's going on right now. Our children killing children. Right now, it's in the age between 15 to 16, killing each other.
Yeah.
And no, that was before. Now, it's from 13 to 15. And if we don't stop it, it's going to be 10 to 11.
Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on. You're on, caller. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Hi, good morning. I have a comment.
You're on.
I am from New Iberia, Louisiana, and I totally agree about the gun violence, as well as the community speaking up. I don't understand why they don't want to talk. To me, if you're that scared, you're going to talk so that you can get these criminals off the streets. I, too, lost a child in Liberia in 2019 due to gun violence.
Sorry to hear that, ma'am.
Now, my child's killer was caught because the community talked. He was caught the same night. The same day, same night that this happened. And it is the community that has to talk. So many times we want to lay it at the feet of authority. But if they're not talking, if they're not talking on their nephews, their cousins, their sons, it's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a repeated thing, and it's going to be a lot more visuals and a lot more planning of funerals, especially for our young black males. So they have to get out of this mindset of, I am not talking. The community know what's going on. They know because they're talking amongst one another, but they will not tell the proper authorities so that they can go and pick up these young men. And that's where it lies. And the church needs to hit the ground running and come from behind those four walls. Because you're not, those that are going there, that you need to come from outside those four walls to reach them and teach them about love, because there's no love in their hearts. You can't love and do what you're doing and taking lives. You can't. There's no love there. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. God bless you all, and thank y'all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And we're sorry for your loss.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I have a question for the pastor. So, Blake Miguez is running for state senate, and his main platform is constitutional carry, which essentially puts more guns into the community. I believe Donovan Davis is supporting Blake Miguez's run for senate. And my question to the pastor is, are you going to suggest to your congregation that they vote for Blake Miguez? And wouldn't it be more productive if we ran someone for Senate, Louisiana State Senate, like Sister Khadijah, to represent us to try and get more guns off the street, as opposed to Blake Miguez, who wants to put more guns on the street because that's how he gets his money and that's how he gets his power? Shouldn't we elect people to protect the community instead of promoting these people that harm us? So my question to the pastor is, are we going to support people like Blake Miguez for the Senate? Are we going to start running people like Sister Khadijah that actually represent the people? Thank you.
Thank you. That's an excellent question.
Okay.
You want to?
Can I just get to this other call?
Okay.
Yeah, call it. You have a quick question or comment. You're on.
Okay. Good morning, Sister Khadijah. Good morning, and good morning to the pastor. Hey, look here. You know, I want to say this, but here in Lafayette, they putting cameras on in basically strategic areas, you know, and I think a lot of people say cameras goes into your privacy and stuff like this here, but I guarantee you, a lot of the shooting and stuff like this here they've been having going on in Lafayette, it done slowed down tremendously because these cameras is all over the place. And the cameras, if you treat them right, they'll treat you right. You treat them bad, they'll treat you bad. So, in other words, be under the watchful eye of the cameras, you know, because a lot of crime have been solved through cameras, you know, and until we learn how to deal with the cameras, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, the cameras ain't going to say you're doing nothing wrong. But if you're doing something wrong, the cameras got you. And this is the way we're going to stop a lot of the gun violence and things like this here, because you got cameras on every street that is going to pick you up and get you. So you keep doing wrong, they got you. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. To answer the sister question, that's one thing that I don't do at our church is to do politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we don't do. But I'm all with any ones that come with me to get the guns off the street. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. That's our job. Mad swag, right, and change. Mm-hmm. Getting the illegal guns off the street because with the gun buyback program, it works anonymously. You be anonymous, and you have any gun that's illegal. That's the ones we want to get and get the ones out of the children's hands. Because there are so many troubled youth. So my answer to your question is politics that we don't do.
Okay.
But anything that concerning helping get the guns off the street, we all for it.
Okay. And I like to address the caller who making reference to Representative Blake Miguez. Well, he's exactly right. I agree with him. Blake Miguez is one of those DeSantis type, and that's my opinion. And do the research. The issue with Louisiana, I got a paper right here from the Louisiana Illuminator, the New York Times article about Louisiana ranked second in the country with gun violence. Now, if you call yourself running for an office and you're supporting issues that are hurting the community, having guns in everybody's household, it's not solving the problem, it's making it worse. well then you technically have to be against that person. So that's my opinion about Blake Miguez. He's a right-wing conservative who's out of the same mold of the Ron DeSantis, who want to do away with black history and everything else. So we in order to solve a problem, we got to hit it from all ways. So I say, use your election power, your voting power, vote those people out of office, and you might have less of a, you might have more of a chance of mitigating those things that happen on the street with guns in everybody's gumbo pot. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, right.
So I want to address him.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for hearing me out on that.
Now the fees for the type of weapons, it goes like the type of weapons they have out today. That is some high tech machine operation. That is no way that our young men and women are able to get that unless they stole it, because they can't get a license for it.
Right.
Now the type of weapons at the buyback is that like say if someone have a 22, if that still exists, compared to it, is the price the same amount for the different type of weapons as for, because a 22 going just not even knock you out, in the right position. It will. But then when you have the M3s and all that, there's a big difference.
It's a big difference, yeah. It's goes by the caliber, so it varies what kind of guns you have, and the name brand and how it operates. It's all varies with what you get. But remember, government not funding this. It's coming out of our pocket.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's coming out of our pocket.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so we go by what our budget is for that gun buyback for that city. And we also ask the cities, so we go to church in each city, and we try to get at least $100, $50 to $100 from each church to get the church involved. So they are sponsor a gun.
Let me ask you this: if someone come with what you call I think you're familiar with a ghost gun, a gun that's manufactured. Matter of fact, you get the plans off of Amazon. I'm not saying nothing that's a secret. Everybody knows that, and you could basically build you a gun, a real destructive weapon off of the plans off the internet. So if somebody comes to you with one of those type of gun, would you buy that too?
Well, if the gun is illegal, or it's how can I put it, in a child's hand or something.
Yeah,
we about it because we're not a gun reform place. No,
right.
We just talking the illegal guns and getting the guns out of the children's hands. Yeah, that's the one we want. The ones that's not supposed to be on the street. That's the ones we'll buy. So where somebody have a gun like that, the most will go up to what, $400. $400 on a gun like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get the weapon and when you get the gun, you just destroy it completely. What about if it was involved in other crimes? You don't get no type of identification or anything to keep the
anonymous. Okay, when you turn the gun in,
it's anonymous.
It's anonymous.
Okay.
No name, no blame. You ain't gotta sign nothing.
Okay.
Call it. You have a question or a comment?
Comment and a question more.
You're on.
Yes, the gun buyback is good for them, and I understand that very well. But my question is, when you buy a gun, you call it gun buyback, all right? And if the gun is stolen, I understand they call the person and man anonymous. So you give them $100, and they stole the gun anyway. It ain't cost them nothing to steal it. You give them $100, let's say for a 22 or 38, and they turn around and go buy 357 Magna. Is that helping the situation?
What did you say they're gonna do?
Okay, you buy a gun buyback.
Right.
You give them $100 for a 38. All right. Okay. They stole a 30 anyway, but you give them $100. You buying the gun back for $100, 38. You give them $100. They turn around and go buy a 357. Then what? Is that helping the situation or 9mm?
Oh, that's the question. You understood?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your question.
But that question there is when we buy that 38 back, we know that 38 there will not harm another family. We know that much. So we take that gun there and destroy it. If they go buy another one, I can't stop them. But I know that 38 will not hurt another family. And that's what the gun buyback is all about.
Yeah, and again, I agree with you. Better to do something than nothing.
Right.
Until we have a combination of different ideas on how to mitigate this gun violence thing. And one, I emphasize, do it at the voting booth, or doing it by grabbing somebody young or somebody who's going down that bad road and talking to them. Because, you know, we hear a lot of adults talk about the kids having all that anger. But the kids, where the kids getting all that anger from if they're sitting next to an adult who got a lot of anger in them?
That's right.
So we got a lot of adults with anger and mental problems themselves, but they want to just put it all on those kids, and they angry all the time, 365.
Right.
You know?
Right. And we first did it, we got criticized so much. But my thing is, we have to start somewhere. You got to have a starting point somewhere.
Yeah, and talking to people like I talked to you, ideas, you know, like we talking to the guy was sharing about the gun problem in Louisiana with Blake Miguez.
Right.
The thing is, we could all come together to agree that gun violence is a problem or not.
That's right. And I can tell you, listen, we didn't did the marches. You did it already. You didn't had the prayer. But the scripture says this: faith without works is dead. So you got to have some works behind your prayer. You got to do something. You just can't sit there and don't do nothing. And this is the starting
another
point.
T-shirt, another candlelight visual. It's and the news channel is over there catching the grieving mother. Which is become a thing with them. News media operations are exploiting this for other reasons, not because they really care. That's my opinion. They're doing it because that's a lead story to sell commercials. We got to recognize these things. We got to say, look, this is ridiculous that a mother has to be on TV every week with crying about a child getting killed, and you don't see other communities doing that.
Hello? Yes, ma'am. You have a question or a comment? Your own.
No. Sister Khadijah, I don't want to go on the air. I wanted to ask you.
Okay, wait. We can take you up here. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Now go ahead, Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah. So we started this gun buyback so we could do something. We did the prayer walks. We did did all this other stuff we did. But excuse me, this initiative. At least you get the guns off the street.
And bringing attention to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So if we get somebody starting something, I believe that'll work out. Instead of just praying, and nothing happening, walking, marching, nothing happening. But let's do something.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Put it to work.
Doing something.
Doing something. Because if not, it's going to rise, and it'll be uncontrollable like it already is.
Yes.
Uncontrollable.
Yes. I haven't let you, they want to speak. You want to speak? Okay, all right. Good support.
It's a good thing also is about getting guns off the street, but we also want to get them off the street too.
There you go.
You know, so less people that you have on the street, it's going to be less crime. So we can all come together, at least help some of these guys here to find jobs. And we all know somebody that owns companies that's in position that they can hire somebody. You see what I'm saying? So by the time these guys get off of work, they're too tired to go back on the street to do anything.
Right.
So that's where, you know, we all need to come together.
Okay.
And we didn't just get in this problem overnight. It was years and years in the making. The situation that we're in now. At one time, young men and women, they had the opportunity to go and work and get paid with these different jobs that was available. In the summertime, they had monies for that. And so it's not like if we just all of a sudden a rites of passage, it seems like, for our young men and women to go ahead and just shoot each other instead of either. There's nothing wrong with physical fighting. You know, it shows that you're not it shows that you're not a coward. But at least Brother Jay,
it's still
this
wrong, though.
It's
still
wrong in a
because
sense.
it perpetrates something else.
No, what I'm saying is that they're acting like some cowards. They need to go ahead and realize if I have a disagreement with you,
So you want to fight somebody,
or I'm mugging you, or something like that.
You don't want
then-
to fight nobody. I
then
mean, you got to let it go.
It's a disagreement. It's a
Yeah.
disagreement,
Yeah.
and they're not equipped enough in their brains to know that a disagreement is just a disagreement. It shouldn't be the end of the world. It shouldn't be your life. You're gonna shoot somebody because he was mugging you. Well, what the world is a mug? Oh, a stare down.
Like
Somebody
I would
staring
do-
down. I compliment women and men all the
Like,
time.
you know what people have
Can
disagreement.
you let me finish talking?
You see, we have a disagreement now. You see, that's my co-host. I love my co-host.
Yeah, I was just trying to say is we've had disagreement before.
Yes.
They don't know how to do constructive disagreement. Now, what I was thinking about when you say we've done the marches, we've done dust, we've done just about everything we could possibly think about doing. You know, to our young people, and we could put together like a semi little 3D play. Have a scene whereas, okay, look, I stole this gun. This is what I'm gonna just keep it for protection. Protection from who? Then you go and you show this innocent bystander. You just shot somebody for no reason at all. Now you got the mothers, you got the aunts. If we could like just do just a 3D play to get the message across, you know, when you hear a mother cry is something that you really can never let it go out of your mind and stuff like that. And we've got to show alternatives like Silky Slim. He was a real gangster at one time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was a real gangster at one time.
Right.
I mean, a real gangster, not this little make believe I'm wearing your color stuff type of gangster. He was really a gangster. He done turned his life around, and he speaks about that to the young kids.
He was just presented the 2023 NAACP Image Award for his life-changing situation that he went over the years. You know,
right? Now,
and he's a close associate of attorney Ben Crump.
Carly, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Come here.
You're on.
I'm gonna ask you something. Everybody have their own opinion of what we could take to get the guns off the street, and I think everybody calling in with different ideas. And you ask my own personal opinion. All of it works. I'm open up to anything that you bring to the table to stop the violence. There's no one wrong answer. Okay? Hello?
Yes, we got you. We got you.
Let me say, there's no wrong answer. Everybody got different opinion whether they're gonna stop the violence, the gun violence, stuff like that. But like I said, there's no wrong answer. Whatever somebody suggests, I say let's try it all. Whatever it takes, that work. Attention is something will work. So one cannot outsmart the other when it comes down to some gun to violence. Help stop the violence. Whatever they suggest, let's do it all. Let's work. Something got to work. Something got to give. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, Carl.
All right, thank you.
Wow. See, we certainly have some disagreement and agreement. And agreement.
You know what I can say about what I say about that is if everybody have an opinion, have something to think about, let's come to the table with it.
Yeah.
And figure out how to do it.
Okay.
Bring your idea, and we're gonna put it together, and it's gonna work some kind of way just by coming together.
Yeah. And just by the sound of your voice today, people hearing you, you know, somebody might have an idea to interject with you, you know.
That's right. They can call me, and we can sit to the table and we can figure out something. A little help better than no help. That's right.
Yes, caller, you have a question or comment? You're on.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling from New Iberia.
Good morning.
You know, I always think about we doing the marching, we doing the praying. But what's, because we still got so much shooting in New Iberia and a lot of young kids. So what are we doing with the marching, and nothing is being changed? What could we do about that? That's what I don't understand that.
Yes,
we praying. We, like you said earlier, the cameras is out there. You're seeing the young mothers. I really think it starts from the home, because you got young mothers on the street, young mothers having children, and there's no structure, I think, in the home. I mean, that's my opinion. That's where it's coming from.
Yes.
So can you have something to say about, about the praying and the marching, and nothing is being changed? What could we do about that?
What would be one of your answers, ma'am?
I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I wouldn't even have it for it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you anyway.
Okay.
So much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Caller, you're on. Hey, you need to turn down your radio. Yes, you need to turn down your radio. Okay, you're on, caller.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you. You're on.
Okay, I'm on the phone of this mic. Anyway, to answer the lady's question, what can we do about it? I would say continue in prayer, continue fighting, continue to do what we're doing. What I would say is continue to do it. And all these people, the PhD, they're standing back not doing nothing. PhD, please help, damn it. Get out there and do something.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes. Short to the point. Yeah, Louisiana has some negative numbers. Just Google the Newsweek article about Louisiana overall ranking 50th in every conceivable category that you could think of. And that tells you a lot. So this election cycle, you got to ask yourself, who's at fault for Louisiana being last in almost everything that we should be, having a positive? You got to ask yourself, is it the politician, is it the people, or is it a combination of both? So when you talk to a politician, ask him about why Louisiana is last.
A caller, you have a brief. Okay, well, we just about having to wrap it up because we're getting ready to go into the other segment.
Yes, sir.
With Brother Herbert, hot reggae. Sir, you're on. Well, evidently something is wrong with your phone because I didn't click you about 3 times. But
we're having a disagreement.
Yes, indeed, we're having a disagreement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In closing, and I'm trying to get him because he seems so persistent. Okay, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, it's not the same one. Okay. You have a question or comment? Go ahead.
Well, I have a question. For these rallies or these walks, I would like to know, who are you guys reaching out to when it comes to these marches? Who are you reaching out to? I guess, in a sense, are you reaching out to the family members that have lost? Are those the ones that's on the front lines of your marches?
We'll reach out to anyone that can come out and support. It takes a unity to raise a child, a community to raise a village to raise a child. So we're looking for the communities to come out. So we reach out to everyone before we do any marches, before we do anything. We put boots on the ground like 2-3 months before the event. So we try to get the whole city to be involved in the program, in the event.
You heard it, ma'am? Ma'am, you heard?
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Okay, what we do, it takes a village to raise a child. So we get the whole community of voices of victims, everybody that can and willing to come out. It's not just a particular person. It's trying to get everybody that can come out to be with us on the grounds.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we wind up losing that caller. Evidently, you're driving, and it's a lot of feedback that's coming out. But the lines have stayed lit. It's a powerful program, and just go ahead and
we're gonna have to do it again.
Tell us something.
We'll do it again and organize something, from the beginning. Yeah. Well, tell us how to get in contact with you, how to support you, my brother.
Okay, you can call me at 337-541-3422. The church address is 916 Center Street, New Iberia, Holy Ghost Field, the Full Gospel Church, right on the corner of Center and Dale Street. So that is my contact information, or you can get me through Facebook. Email is Holy Ghost Field, Full Gospel Church, Full Gospel CHU at yahoo.com.
Caller, you have a brief question or statement.
You're on. Gun violence, to me, all this gun violence really started when they decided to start shutting everything down. Where it was things that was open for the growing up, 24. They have things and they start pulling all kind of stuff from the kids.
Yes, ma'am.
This is where this gun violence started. Just like for breaking in the house. This is where all this started from. They just started pulling everything away.
And when you say
If
they
they
start...
could reopen everything, I feel to believe it would stop. It would actually stop.
And when
give the kids back the playground, the real playground.
Okay, now I'm following you.
You know, look at New Iberia. We had skate ring, all that. Now they got to go all the way to Lafayette.
Yeah, that's.
And some gun violence, I agree with some of the people that say it starts at home. Yeah, when you got parents pulling guns out on each other, or they see their parents pulling guns out quick to vote for somebody. Yes, the kids, they see this, so they doing it. Because really and all, if you look at it, it's our youngsters that's dying. And we have innocent people getting caught.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and I tell a lot of youngsters, I was brought up old school. My father used to go hunting. He took all of us hunting with him. Me and my mother, we went for hunting. I know if I have to shoot, when I shoot, whatever object I'm shooting at, I'm catching it. Right now, these here, they got them guns, but none of them wait for training for nothing. They ain't wait no training or nothing for these guns. So that's how innocent people getting killed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You made some really valid points. The kids don't have nothing to do in New Iberia. Now they got to come to Lafayette and stuff like that. That's under the representatives. That's the people that's supposed to be Jay. That's the people that's supposed to be representing the community. Our councilman, our parish council.
And I look at the thing is, like one lady saying with all this praying, I went to one of them that got killed, and I'm looking at a mother. She's there. Oh, she with it, but I'm looking at her. Weeks before that, I have a testimony with that. Weeks before that, my kids got into something. This woman had nerve to call. No guns was pulled out then. She called her own child out, and he was the one to pull out the gun. But she ain't tried taking no gun out of his hand. But you're there for the violence.
Yeah.
You're there to claim to support that you don't want the violence.
Yes.
You didn't stop that violence that night.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed.
Well,
we hear you.
And this is the way my parents taught me. You pull out something, you use it.
Well, caller, thank you. We got to wrap it up now for the next segment coming on, and we definitely appreciate you calling and giving us that.
And that goes. Yeah, that is very good. And that goes to mine as a young man, Paxton. You know, he had the club. He from New Iberia, at the club in Lafayette, and got shot over just senseless stupidity. You know, the other guy had some kind of beef with him. Okay. I mean, it's just crazy stuff.
Okay,
so,
Khadijah.
And wrapping it up.
Yeah.
You want to give your information again?
Give us
information.
How to reach you?
Okay, 337-541-3422. Email is Holy Ghost Field, Full Gospel, CHU at yahoo.com. Address is 916 Center Street, New Iberia, Louisiana.
We want to thank our great guest and assistant pastor and the evangelist. I'm sorry if I had a place card in front of me. And Sister Khadijah, thank y'all guys for being here because you broke up a disagreement. That's what y'all supposed to do.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
We thank y'all so very much. All right. Okay.